Hi guys, I thought I would make some jerky and summer sausage today, and thought I'd do a short video on how I do it. There's no reason to go pay somebody to do it. It's so easy. I do buy these kits from Real King. That's a summer sausage kit there. And for the jerky, I've tried every kind of mix there is, and teriyaki is my favorite. This Real King jerky does not have the sodium nitrite in it, so you do have to freeze it, keep it frozen until you're ready to eat it. Each packet makes 3 pounds, so you will need a scale to measure it. So it's pretty simple. I use the oven. I don't have a dehydrator, and mainly make it for the grandson. He absolutely loves it, and there's no MSGs or any preservatives. It's all natural. I could make this from scratch myself, but they're only $1 or $2, so much simpler. One of the things I always do with my meat is I always run water like that over it, and that washes it, and any hair that might have been left on it from the butchering process literally floats off and goes down the drain, and it takes any blood off. We just dry it, and I'll show you what we do next. The hardest thing about making jerky like I do is the most important thing is to cut it in 1/2 inch long strips. I've got the eye of round and the sirloin here, so I don't have really big pieces. The most important thing is anything white you must cut off and throw away. Any fat will be rancid when you do the jerky, so any silver skin, anything white, you need to cut it off and throw it away. And this isn't the best piece of meat to be using for jerky, but it's what I'm using. And typically I want to all this white leftover silver skin that I didn't get off when I butchered it, all that has to come off, or it will be rancid in the process. So like this silver skin, all this needs to come off if you want your nice tender jerky. One advice about a grinder: pay once, cry once. Don't buy these cheap grinders like I did. It's all plastic except for the cutting wheel. It's loud, and it's a piece of junk. So spend the money, get one of those good stainless steel ones, but I just can't go spend money to buy a better one when this one does the job, but it's not. But I like to have the 1/2 inch pieces. If you can, once I get that silver skin off, I'm going to cut long 1/2 inch strips the whole length. So let's get at it. We're going to grind it, and we're going to weigh up 4 pounds each and marinate overnight. Okay, this is what you want: 1/2 inch strip like this. And if you cut it across the grain, this will feed through the grinder the best of everything I found. 1/2 inch strip like that. The auger will grab it and feed it through the blades the best. So you just... Okay, we're going to use 4 pounds per packet, so you need to measure out 4 pounds of 1/2 inch sliced venison. Okay, once we have our ground deer meat, once again, buy a decent grinder. If you're ever going to make this, and have it be one that'll last you the rest of your lifetime. This thing, you get what you pay for. Anyways, we got our ground deer meat. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar, honey, and our packets of jerky mix. One of the reasons to wear gloves when you do that is when you pour your jerky mix in here, you have to thoroughly, what's the word they use on the cooking shows, incorporate or something like that. But you want to keep working this till it's thoroughly mixed. I put another thing, when you're going through here, you will see little tiny white little specks pop up like that, and you want to pull all that, anything white, you want to pull out. Not only will that be, it's like a piece of gristle, and it will, that when you eat this jerky and that gets stuck between your teeth. So just play like you're watching Gold Rush, looking for that gold nugget inside. I don't know, that's stupid. But anyways, you want to go through, and anything white that starts popping out at you, like there, pull that out, because, see? So you don't have to cut every little bit of it out, because when you're mixing it, the little white pieces will just start jumping out at you, and you just go through and pull them out. See that? This is one of the reasons I grind it and use the jerky gun method, because this is nothing but pure meat fiber, nothing tenderous, nothing's going to get stuck between your teeth that you need a toothpick or see how easily that stuff picks out then. So now this is going to get covered up, and it's going to go in the refrigerator for overnight. It's supposed to be 5 hours, but okay, after you let it marinate overnight, you take your jerky gun and you fill it up with jerky. Now some advice I have is, see those air bubbles in there? If you can pack that as tight as you can, it will stop that segmentation of the flow out of the jerky gun. That's what those little air pockets will do to you. So you might want to try and press it in there as tight as you can. And it's real simple. You just take it out on the racks. See those air bubbles? I have a hard time. It's right out of the refrigerator. If I'd let it warm up, it'd probably flow a lot better. But the jerky gun comes with 2 different size ends, whether you want the small pieces or the large pieces. This jerky gun came from Walmart. The racks came from Rural King. They're jerky racks. You'll find them in there where they have the jerky mixes and the summer sausage and everything. They're different than a regular cookie rack because you can actually stack. They're made to stack, and you will notice that they are double wired. See how that wire goes both directions, whereas like a chocolate chip cookie racks a lot of times are just single wire. But if you do the large slot, you will get a lot more oh, that air bubbles are just causing me all kinds of problems. So it's as simple as that. You just get it on your racks, and we're going to put it in the oven at 150 degrees for 5 hours or until leathery, and it'll be done. So it's as simple as that. There's no reason to go pay somebody to do it. It's pretty simple. Just like that. Usually takes about 3 racks, and they stack. Put them on the top. Oh, one other thing is make sure you open your oven door to let the moisture out. And after they've been on there and you start seeing them sort of like they're sweating, I do like to pull them out, I don't know, be an hour or 2 in, I guess, and flip everything. And just like flipping a steak on a grill, I guess. But I don't know, I just think it makes jerky better if you flip it like that. But you do need to put pans underneath of them, because it will, what little bit of fat you did not get will be falling out on those cookie racks underneath of it. So let's finish this little bit, and we're going to get her in the oven. Notice the difference between the top rack and the bottom rack, but see that white? See how that's changed color, and it's more grayish looking and real, looks like almost like hamburger on the grill. That's when I like to take it and flip it, move it around and flip it. Otherwise it'll have a tendency to want to stick to the rack. So let's pull them out, move them. Okay, this is 1 hour in. See how the color's changed? Almost looks like hamburger. This is when I like to flip them, move them around a little bit. See how the top rack almost looks burnt on the top. But then when I flip them, I'll also put the top rack on bottom and the bottom rack on top, and put them back in there for another 4 hours. Smells good. Okay, we got about 2 more hours to go. A couple of these smaller pieces are going to have to come off before long, because they're almost done. But see that color compared to like there and there? That's not done yet. It's got a ways to go. See that? See that? And we'll flip them, so we'll put the top tray in the bottom. Look at these bottom pieces. But the thing I wanted to point out was, in 1 hour into it, you take a fork and slide it under here and get them loose so they're moving, because they will stick to it. And if 1 hour in you did not move them around, they'd be stuck to the rack. You don't want to spray it with any kind of cooking spray, because that would add oil to it, and oil goes rancid. This is jerky, so you don't want any, no fat at all. All the fat has dripped off into this pan underneath it here. So some of these are about ready, but the big ones have at least another 2 hours to go. Anyways, there you go, guys. 5 pounds of deer jerky. Real easy to make in your oven. All you need is some jerky racks and bag of seasoning. You can always go to Pinterest or something and come up with your own jerky recipe. I would like to point out that this jerky looks really dark, and a lot of that is the seasoning I used, because I also added some soy sauce and honey to it, and that's what gives it a little bit of that dark look. It's not burnt at all. I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but there you go. It's real easy to make. Just put it in your oven at the lowest setting, 125, 150 for about 5 hours, and there's about 5 pounds of jerky. I found you cannot do any more than about 5 pounds at a time, or your oven is just too crowded. So